You may be wondering what this strange-looking contraption is for. Well, today we're trying to catch the fastest lizard in the entire world.
Our target species is the Black Spiny-tailed Iguana, one of the most impressive reptiles that can be found in Florida. They are not a native species to the state, and because of their large size and unfamiliar appearance, they have virtually no natural predators in Florida when they reach adulthood. To catch the fastest lizard in the world, we can't rely on our usual technique of sneaking up to one and grabbing it by hand. They're just too fast. So today, we are heading out with our good friend Emilio from Animal Encounters to try our hands at one of his preferred lizard catching techniques, sky fishing. Sky fishing is exactly what it sounds like. We're going to use some rope looped through a fishing pole to try to snare one of these amazing lizards. This technique allows us to extend our reach a lot farther than if we were to attempt to catch by hand. And because these lizards are so good at climbing and can easily outrun us on flat ground, this might be our only option. Now, this technique does put the iguana under stress when it's captured, and we always try to minimize any stress we cause our subjects, invasive species or not. So, as soon as we snare one, we have to move in quickly to get a more controlled handle on the situation to keep the lizard calm. Sky fishing will cause the iguana some stress, but rest assured that it will not cause them any physical harm. Iguanas are muscular and powerful lizards, and even with the snare briefly around their neck, the iguana will not feel any pain or constriction due to the strength of their neck muscles. With all the pieces in place, it's time now to give sky fishing a try. When you see the iguanas lazily walking along this golf course and grazing on vegetation, it's easy to imagine them as lethargic and easygoing animals. But boy is this far from the truth. These iguanas are fast, super fast, and try as we might, we can't even get close to one. We've tried over and over and over, getting closer each and every time, just for the iguana to slip right out from our reach and into the safety of the vegetation. This is getting disheartening and exhausting. There seems to be no hope of getting one of these iguanas in front of the camera. They're just too skittish. But just as we were about to move on to a new location, Emilio got into position for one last promising capture.
Yes! Yes! That's it! This is the spiny-tailed iguana, the fastest lizard in the world, and so incredible to have this guy in hand. They can run up to 33 kilometers per hour, which is lightning fast, and it makes them incredibly difficult to catch.
Yeah, and here in South Florida, which is their invasive range, because they are actually native to Central and South America, they prefer urban and suburban habitats, like this golf course, which is perfect because it's an open space where they have plenty of area for them to bask and heat up, and that's why they're so full of energy and incredibly difficult to catch. Another reason they are incredibly fast runners is because they have very powerful legs. Now these legs, how muscular they are, it'll propel them forward from a sitting position in no time.
Absolutely. And they're called the spiny-tailed iguana for a reason. One of their primary defenses is this incredible tail. You can see it's covered in spikes, and they are actually super sharp, and they will lash out at potential threats with it, making them a very imposing animal. But he has been very calm, and I think it's time to let this guy go and see if Evan and I can pull off some catches of our own. As you can see, he's pretty calm now, but just wait until we put him on the ground. Check out this speed. You're all right. We have to be very delicate on the release. Come on, buddy. We've regrouped and come to a different area in search of the green iguana, the one that we missed before.
Yeah, this is a spot where I know that they're absolutely everywhere at, but let's hope they're a little bit less skittish than the other place.
As it turns out, the green iguanas are not less skittish at all. They are equally as flighty as the spiny-tailed iguanas, but they introduce a new challenge. Green iguanas are excellent swimmers. This new location is full of green iguanas because it sits on a lake, so they have an easy method of escape from any predator or wildlife educator trying to get their hands on them. There's one very large green iguana sitting on the bank of the lake here. Now, large lizards are incredibly fast, but their stamina is quite low. And this presents us a very exciting opportunity. We might have a shot here. We have to work our way along the bank very, very carefully, getting him into a position where he thinks we can't grab him. And that is when we'll make our move.
Not yet. Try to get a little lower. As low as you can. Try to get a little lower.
Got him. Yes! Yes! You're okay.
Well done.
Bring it up, and
Iguana.
eat the poop. Got him around the neck.
You got him?
Yeah.
I cannot believe it. Woo!
After considerable trial and error, we finally have a massive green iguana in hand. Now what's interesting is they're called green iguanas, but if you look at this individual, you'll see that he actually has a very dull orange color along a lot of his body, especially prominent in that tail there. Now that coloration is what you see on large dominant males to simplify to females that he is great for mating. Those are to show off for the girls a little bit. Now these guys are also incredibly difficult to catch. So Emilio, you want to tell us why?
Yeah. So if you see right here, look at the size of these claws. This makes them really good climbers. They'll grip onto the bark and shoot up the tree. Then over here, they have that massive, thick, rudder-like tail that just propels them through the water. And then what's, for me, a really, really interesting fact about them is that they actually don't have just 2 eyes, they have 3. If you look right here, this little like dot that they have is a primitive eye. Now it doesn't see as well as their main eyes. It can't see color, it can't distinguish shapes, but it detects light and darkness. So it shows them if there's something moving above them.
So whether it's their keen senses, their great climbing, or their amazing swimming, these guys are almost impossible to catch, which is why having this guy in hand today is so exciting. There are a variety of factors that have led to iguanas being introduced to Florida. 2 of the most prominent are commerce from Central and South America into the United States and escapes from the pet trade. Now, this species does have quite a bit of ecological impact because, like the spiny-tailed iguana that you saw earlier, the green iguana is also an herbivore.
And since they're an herbivore, that means that they're going to be eating the native plants, which changes the composition of habitats. And not only that, but they can also displace native animals that burrow, such as the gopher tortoise or the burrowing owl, because they will bully them out of their houses, essentially, and then take over.
Absolutely right. And both the green iguana, but especially the spiny-tailed iguana, have a massive impact on human infrastructure. As we were exploring around the different locations today, we saw lots of holes under the foundations of buildings dug out by the iguanas, especially the spiny-tails, but the greens will do that sometimes as well. So they are unfortunately not the best species to have around, despite how cool they are. It is time now to get this beautiful animal back into the environment. Though we know it's an invasive species, there's really nothing we can do. There are literally dozens of them here, and if we cull this guy, it doesn't mean anything. All we would have done there is just taken a life, and that doesn't do anything for the ecosystem. So we're gonna get this guy back because he has had a hard day, but this was an incredible encounter. Catching these iguanas was so much more difficult than Evan and I had ever expected, but nonetheless, with Emilio's help, we were able to get both of the species we were looking for today. What did you think?
Yeah, man, this was super, super fun. The conditions of today were not really helping. For some reason, the iguanas were more skittish than usual, and the heat of the summer day here in Florida can be brutal. But in the end, we got our targets.
Absolutely. If you want to learn more about the green iguana, make sure to go into the description down below to check out Animal Encounters, Emilio's channel, because you've seen them a lot down in South America.
Oh yeah, we have tons of them down in Ecuador, where I'm from.
So make sure to go check out his video, and if you want to learn more about the spiny-tailed iguana, check out this video where we caught up with them in the wild down in Costa Rica. And with that, we hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bueno, muchachos.
Hasta la próxima.